up and scores the winner. So a great day for him, very much appreciated by his teammates who gave him a rousing round of applause when he came in after talking to the media while we were discussing the game. And it's a wonderful moment for a player whose future I think is very bright. And I'm hoping to see him go on to have a really good Premiership career.
He seems to be quite a popular lad. The reaction he got when he scored that goal sort of showed what his teammates think of him.
He is popular. He's popular basically for the right reasons. You know, why players should be popular. Popular because he works hard, he trains hard, he always does his job, he listens to, you know, the things he's being told and what's being asked of him by the coaching staff and his teammates. Never shirks any aspect of the game, you know, getting forward to support or running back after losing the ball or getting out to block crosses and defend. He does all of those things, which is, of course, what we want from our players. That's what we want our left back to do. And I think if you do it and do it as well as he does, then you're going to be a popular figure. But he doesn't buy popularity in any other way than by showing the players around him, his teammates, you know, trust me, because with me and your team, I'm going to help you win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, George. Okay.
Hi, Roy. You must be really pleased with that sort of second half performance, and especially to come from behind, you know, not once but twice, must give you and the coaching staff real satisfaction.
It gives us enormous satisfaction, George. For me, that was a throwback to so many matches I've seen here over the 4 years. You know, so many games where we've fallen behind. Maybe we haven't quite found our true form during a period of the game. And then suddenly a switch is switched on and suddenly the team is completely electrified. And I thought our second half performance in many ways was that type of what I would call a typical Crystal Palace performance over the last 4 years where, okay, we could have been excused because the first half wasn't that good of accepting, well, we did get back in it, but now we've gone behind again. We didn't accept that. We made certain from the offset in the second half we're going to get back into this game. And getting back into it at 2-2, we didn't stop. We went for the winner. So that was a really satisfying moment for the players. And I think they should be very, very proud of the way they've worked today to get this victory against a team that, let's be fair, have had a very, very good season and have some really good players.
I guess you could probably imagine what the noise would have been like if 25,000 had been inside the stadium, and obviously it'd only be 6,500 on Wednesday, but they will come in very, very buoyant after that display.
I hope so. I mean, we all know how important the fans are, and it's been talked about many times here at Palace because our fans in particular have been unbelievably supportive through the years. But the Tottenham game, when I thought they were quite important to us in making certain we got a point out of that game, there was only 2,000, so there'd be 3 times more than that. So if those 2,000 can make as much noise as they did, then maybe with 6,000 I won't even realise that it's not a full stadium.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go to Andy McSteen, South London Press.
Thank you, Joe. Roy, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, Andy.
Yeah. Just some housekeeping on the squad, really, as well. Obviously, Jack Butland made his Premier League debut for the club today. You had 2 goalkeepers on the bench, and James Tompkins came in after, playing some minutes earlier for the under-23s. Can you just talk us through those three things, please, Roy? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason we had an extra goalkeeper on the bench is, Wayne Hennessy's had enormous misfortune, to pick up that very bad injury he did playing for Wales. And it's meant basically that he's been outside of being in contention for a place in the team for a long time. But for the last 6 weeks or so, he's really worked hard to, get back into the form we know he has, but also having to accept that, unfortunately, his absence, Guaita's continuing to do very well, and Butler's really breathing down Guaita's neck. So it was nice today to be able to say to him, look, we've only got 19 players available. There is 20 spots. would you be interested in being a part? And he jumped at the opportunity, because I've got to say one thing about Wayne Hennessy. He's a fantastic club man. I mean, he's, whether he's playing or being a substitute, because to be fair, when Guaita came in, he had to sort of accept for a period of time that he was number 2 to Guaita's number 1. Always unbelievably supportive, always right behind the team. So that explains him, if you like. We've had family issues with both Luka Milivojevic and Patrick Van Aanholt, which meant I couldn't use those today. So they obviously were not with us. But for McCarthy, who's not played for a long time, it was good to see him back in the team. And for Tompkins in particular, a player that I think we have missed because he's such a good quality player. We've been lucky that Coyote, who didn't come to the club as a centre-back, he came as a central midfield player. He stepped in and done so brilliantly for us at centre-back. But that's really been forced upon us by the injuries to people like James Tompkins and Mamadou Sakho. So it's delightful to see him back. And there's no doubt when you watch James play, we have to accept that we have missed his quality.
And just on Jack Butland, Roy, you said before the game that Vicente was happy to step aside for Jack to make his debut. And just a word on his 90 minutes today. Thank you.
Good, very good. I mean, he made one wonder save. I think it was from an offside situation, but he made a wonder save. But I thought he was very good. But I must also say, and I've made this also clear, that it's not a question of rotating the goalkeepers at this moment in time. Vicente's been the number 1 goalkeeper. He deserves to be put back into the team, but it's really nice to know that the faith that we all have in Jack, because we believe he's good enough, certainly, to play for any Premiership team. We think he's that good a goalkeeper. That was nice to see that justified, if you like, today, that thought or that opinion. And great for him, because he's had to wait a long time for this opportunity. So very nice that he can go home tonight with a win bonus.
Just a really quick one, Roy. Have you ever had 2 goalkeepers on the bench before in one of your teams that you can remember? Or
It's a very good question. I suppose the answer is I don't know offhand. It's not something which I would have taken, would have had a major effect upon me, as it were. Had we done it, it would be because of this situation. Well, there's an extra space. Why not put another goalkeeper? I do remember going into the first UEFA Cup final I had with Inter. We had so few players. We were taking players from the Primavera, the under-23 team, that I didn't even recognise when they came to join us. And I wouldn't have been surprised that you might come up with a stat that one of those games around that time you had 3 goalkeepers. But I don't remember.
I'm not that good, Roy. And I guess just a final bit of housekeeping. Would it be like no under-23s because of the game tomorrow, no under-18s because of the bubble? Is that why the academy players weren't in that 20th, or was it more as a reward for Wayne?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you're thinking we could have filled the bench with one more outfield player by calling an under-23 player, but they've got this big game tomorrow night, or an under-18 player. But the really good under-18 players at the moment, they're going to be involved in the game tomorrow night, either playing or on the bench. So I didn't want to disturb Sean Derry's chances of working with the team, and because, to be quite frank, whoever we'd have brought up into the group, he wouldn't have been one of the first 2 or 3 names in our head to put onto the field of play.